Alright, so moving on to the next Patreon request, and this one comes from James Finnegan, who asked me to do an Ed, and Eddy Baccano crossover. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requested videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's get started. Also, like I've always said, hit the third tier for sending. That allows you to send requests for me to do videos. For me to do videos here on YouTube. Blech. Anyway, so yes, Baccano and Ed, and Eddy. So, how am I going to do this? So the story begins with the Eds getting basically their asses handed to them after another failed scam. They have failed once more of securing any kind of change for any kind of like quarters or any kind of. They couldn't even get so much as a dime, and now they're just kind of licking their wounds on the street corner, just kind of like, ugh. Why can't we just get what we want? Like, why can't we just rob a bank or something? And Double D's like, because that's illegal, Eddy. It's very illegal. And that's when they hear a voice go, actually, it's not illegal at all. So they turn around, and they see this man and woman standing there. And it's Isaac and Miriam. And they're just like, they're dressed as cowboys. And they're like, howdy there, partner. We've been looking for, we're a couple of out-of-towners, and we could use some young faces to show us around town. And to which Double D's like, certainly, it's always nice to show the beauty of Peach Creek to newcomers. And Eddy goes, yeah, for the right price. And to which Isaac's like, how about the price of a new friend? And Ed's like, I like new cowboy friends, Eddy. So Eddy basically is like, no, well, guys, don't you see? We could open up a tour system, make it a tour group around Peach Creek. People will pay us tons of money like they do in L.A. And we could tell them anything, and nobody would bother fact checking us. It'd be perfect. But of course, Double D is like, no, Eddy, we can't do that. That's, these people are out-of-towners, and they just want to see our town. They just want to see the beauty of our town. To which Eddy's like, Double D, you know as well as I do, there is no beauty in this town. The only thing beautiful is seeing the "You are now leaving Peach Creek" sign as you're getting the hell out of here. But for the time being, Eddy does eventually win, and he's like, sure, we can show you around town, as my sock-headed friend said, for the wonders of Peach Creek, you might say. But these tours ain't cheap, So if you'd be so kind as to fork up some cash, I greatly appreciate the contributions. To which Isaac is like, cash, my friends. Well, how much you charging? As much as the price of friendship is invaluable, nigh on priceless, one might say. How much do you need? And he's like, oh, I'd say about 50 cents up each of us. And he's like, 50 cents? Doggone, do you not value the power of new friendship, my friend? How about you show us around town? We'll give you each $50. To which Eddy is like, Double D, get a defibrillator. I think my heart stopped. $50 each? And he's like, and this is at this point, Double D's like, Eddy, now we really can't take their money. There's, nothing good will come of this. But Eddy at this point does not care. So the Eds show Isaac and Miria around town, and they're just kind of oohing and awing about all this. And Double D's kind of curious, and he's kind of like, pardon me, what were your names were? I'm Isaac, and this is my good and beloved Miriam. And they're just like, Double D's like, so what brings you to Peach Creek anyway? The town has its value, I will say, but like, and why with the costumes? Are you some kind of tour group or something? And to which Isaac is like, no, my dear boy, what we are just outlaws from, outlaws on the run. People, out there living free. We go where the wind blows us. Right to the money. And that's when Double D's like, oh Lord, these people are bank robbers. Eddie, we have to report them to the proper authorities. These two think they're like some kind of Bonnie and Clyde kind of group. To which Eddie's like, shut up, schlockhead, $50 each. You know, if you don't want it, I'll keep yours, and, you know, 250s make 100. And while Double D goes, well, I appreciate that you do understand basic math, Eddie. We can't do that. There's no way, you know, in good conscience, that we could just allow these two to rob a bank. That's probably why they want us to show us around town, to show them to the bank, and probably a few good proper escape exits. But Eddie proceeds to shut Double D up, and Ed, however, is just kind of making small talk with Isaac and Miriam. And Ed's like, so, do you guys have horses? No, my friend, the only wild horses we have are in our hearts. And Ed's like, ooh, horse heart. I bet it needs carrots. And Eddie doesn't care at this point. And then eventually, you know, Isaac and Miriam do ask, hey, where's your local bank? And he's like, oh, it's in town. I'll show you. It's nothing big. It's where they, you know, all those, you know, they keep all that money for themselves. To which Isaac is like, my friend, you are very true. There's no good that comes from banks, let me tell you. The only thing they're good for is holding money for the short amount of time until someone comes along and takes it. And that's when Eddie goes, so you guys really are bank robbers, aren't you? He's like, bank robbers is such a strong word there, my friend. We are what we call, you know, cash liberators. And we give it to the poor, so to say. Or good friends. So Eddie's like, alright, I'm in. So, of course, by the time they show them the bank, Isaac and Miriam come flying in with finger guns and just pretend to, like, stick them up. Isaac is speaking in such a tone that, like, it's freaking people out, and they're like, alright, fine, take the money, please, don't hurt us. Don't worry, my friend, we're just here for the bank's money, not your money. So they leave, but as they leave, one of the security guards actually, like, shoots Isaac in the head. He collapses, and Miriam's, like, freaking out, because she's like, oh, Isaac, you know, why did you have to die like that? And that's when Isaac gets back up. Double D's, like, jaw hits the ground, because he sees, like, the bullet, like, heal itself. Because if you haven't seen the anime, Isaac and Miriam are immortal and can't die. So, and Isaac and Miriam also forget this is a thing constantly, because they're stupid. So, the cop is freaked, like, the security guard's freaked out, and that's when the, you know, Isaac and Miriam make a getaway, pretending that the Eds are their, like, hostages, but they let them go later on, and, like, as promised, $50 each, but Double D's like, I don't want your blood money! Please, take it, friend! You know, as a token is like, no, you were, you know, I want to know how you became immortal! That's a more important question! He's like, oh yeah, you know, I forget sometimes. So, Double D has more questions than he does, you know, he has more questions than answers. Eddie doesn't care about the immortality thing. All he cares about now is that he has the $50. And by the end of it, Isaac and Miriam ride off into the sunset while Double D is just like, gentlemen, do you have any questions of what happened? We saw a human being get shot in the head, then come back to life. Not to mention we were complicit in a robbery. And Eddie's just like, all I know, Double D, is that I got $50 to blow on a whole bunch of jawbreakers. To which Ed is like, jawbreakers and monster movies! And there you go, guys. That is pretty much the Baccano, Ed, and Eddy crossover. Once again, I'd like to thank James Finnegan for this Patreon request. This is a lot of fun to do, as well as his continued patronage. And like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon where you can hit the third tier and start sending requests for videos for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.